He's an Army vet, an author, and the Republican candidate to represent Georgia's 2nd Congressional District. And on November 6th, it'll be up to you to decide whether he gets the job. Joining me to talk about his campaign platform as he runs against incumbent Sanford Bishop is Colonel John House. Colonel House, we appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Now, tell me, what in your view, what is the most important issue that's facing the 2nd Congressional District right now?
Jobs. I mean, if you drive around the district like I have, it's clear a lot of people are looking for some kind of work. And so I think we need to work real hard to create an environment so that businesses can flourish and people can have work.
You know, last week we had the Republican National Convention. This week we have the Democratic National Convention.
Right.
And that's the talk on everybody's minds right now. But on your website, I was doing some research earlier, you say that the government doesn't create jobs, businesses create jobs, which is kind of, it's been two different stories in both conventions.
Right.
How will you, be a champion of businesses if elected?
You know, the number one complaint that I have heard, whether it's from a politician, a small businessman, or a farmer, as I've driven around the 2nd District, has been federal regulation. So I want to work as a congressman to ensure that federal regulations don't prevent businesses, farmers, and so forth from being successful, but instead help them. And right now the burden is very high, regardless of who you talk to.
And this is a critical time in the history of our area as well, especially with sequestration or the looming defense cuts happening.
Yes.
What's your plan to prevent those from happening?
Well, I think we have to cut spending. We have to get the deficit under control, and we have to work with each other to find ways to do that. I think my 26 years in the Army, where I worked with people from every background you could imagine, to include foreign nationals depending on where I was, and to solve problems. I mean, I spent my life learning how to solve problems and solving problems. And I haven't heard very many solutions from anybody up in Congress. And so I want to go there so I can help those people find some solutions.
You retired from the Army in 2001, so you
That's
know how important that defense spending is for the safety of Middle Georgia and for the safety of the district and for the safety of the country as well.
That's true. I mean, I spent my life worrying about national security because I was in the Army. And then after I retired, I was a defense consultant part of that time and a civil servant part of that time. And so I'm very aware of the issues around communities with military installations. Now,
you've also said that if you're elected, you'll help repeal President Obama's health care plan. In your opinion, what's the biggest flaw in that plan?
It's too large, it's too complex. I don't think we know yet all of the impact it's going to have, but I've had small businessmen tell me it's just about going to drive them out of business, or they're going to put all their employees, or most of their employees, on part-time status rather than full-time because they cannot afford to pay the health care insurance.
So when you and other Republicans talk about repealing it, do you mean absolutely just starting from scratch, or taking the current law and just revising it so that it's shorter and more easy to understand?
I think we need to start from scratch, but we don't need to wait long because there are clearly things that need to be corrected. And as one doctor recommended to me, we need to pick one element of health care and then pass a statute that will help correct that problem, whatever it is, and then step back for a moment and see what happens.
All right, Colonel House, we really appreciate you coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. And for more information on Colonel House and his platform, you can go to my Facebook page. I've posted a link there. That's facebook.com/Andrew Reeser News.